the poetry book. It's called American Poet Elegy for the Light, and we're reading poem number 1, which is, but this is the introductory information. This book takes place in a fictional version of the, hey, you're supposed to be paying attention?
Yes,
Of the year 2022, and follows the adventures of 9 fictional disenfranchised characters. All of these poems have parallel meanings. The story begins in Oakland, California. And here's the character list. We got the character 1. His name is John Doe. He's a young man working a desk job who ends up caught up in the adventure. He's intended to represent the everyday American. Then we have character number 2, who is appropriately named Don't Cry Girl. The description of her is just a broken soul. Then we have this character number 3, who's Father Time, a Catholic priest from 1917 who is transported to the modern world. Essentially, he's a time-traveling priest. Then we have character 4, Galway Girl, who's a young woman from Dublin, Ireland, exchange student who was unable to return to her country after the economic collapse, and she's also a U2 fan. We have character 5, which is Esperanza, another young woman who originated from Cuba but crossed the US border with Mexico. Then we have character number 6, who is Joey Rocket, punk rocker who is disillusioned with the world and recently lost his ability to perform or make money due to being quote-unquote canceled. And then we have character number 7, which is American Poet, who is the narrator. And character number 8 is Satoshi Nakamoto, the legendary inventor of Bitcoin. Then we have character number 9, who is the Light, who is the fiance of John Doe, who was trapped in Afghanistan and murdered by the Taliban. She was a journalist. And let's start the poem. And then we get the table of contents and then poem number 1. This is Overture. First character speaking is John Doe. The lights in the sky light up my mind. The city turns forever. The friends we walked away from, the streets lonely as ever. Emotions always dance in our minds. Some stay forever and vanish lifetimes away. The life I always dreamed of living was always so close to you. The violence across my heart, scars that nothing here will ever illuminate or touch. We walk so far away from the time. Father Time steals our days, breaks in and takes until we have none left. The president in a mask. The lives we dreamed of strewn across the oceans where we could never reach them or put them back together. I stare at the screens at night, televisions and nightmares for the future. Magazines filled with images that were burned away forever. The tempest of the wind, compelling us now and forever to cast out the politicians of our souls. Love still calls us here. I'm the last one of my kind. My beating heart, my only alibi. The final desperate moment in my soul to lunge out at forces as desperate as the wind. The rhythm of the forces opposed to us, every locked door in our lives, we will never find the key, always swell up with pain, and fall forever, sinking, unable to move forward, always carrying in our hearts the secret that unfolds the mystery of the fallen stars, that carry me further into the future. My name is John Doe. I'm a man of few words, but enough inside to flood all the oceans and pulverize the decrees of broken hearts. The world has changed, the streets bustling with noise, the iron cases we found ourselves in, and take us all around the world. Chance of war and death. We fear what we always knew we would become anyway. Nothing we could have done to stop your control. There will be days when we cry out for justice. Until then, we hold on to a memory. When the time is all depleted and we look back at all our past decisions and mistakes, the mist surrounds our lives, clouds our vision, and we can only see so far through the fog, cluttering the spaces where we should clearly see the spaces between the stars. Our nation fell backwards and was never able to lift itself up. Out of all sinking sand as in a dream, and paralyzed it could not move at all. When we cannot move at all, we wait for the struggle to end, until we succumb beneath its grasp. I lost myself in the hope I had for eternity, foolish dreams which we would share together. My mind always tortured by the oceans falling over us. A rain of hail, pattering on the roofs of our hearts, knocking on the front door of our hearts, always crashing against my fortifications, imploring me to wave a white flag, but I was not strong enough to stand. I stand here, eager to greet the light inside my heart. I stand here willing to tackle any nightmare head first, diving now and forever into deep oceans. The seasons passed, but this season of hatred and control never ended. Feel me in the empty spaces inside your heart, and hold the spirit of what cascades against us close to you. Cast out the politicians of your souls. Love still calls you here. There will be days when we cry out for justice. Until then, we hold on to a memory. And then we switch characters to American poet. As the fear grips our hearts and squeezes us until we can no longer move, the life within our veins fleeting, like the swell of our own inspiration. John Doe coming home from work and lying on his bed, unable to move, with the desperate life in veins, never able to fully come alive again. After the shock, paralyzed anxiety flooding a heart, and today we will wait for the end of all time. The tension within hearts, when these hearts have nowhere to run. Power pressing down on us until we will never be able to move again. The beautiful moments in our lives, which we hold on to, hoping to never let them go. First kiss after a broken heart. Handfuls of $100 bills, and we can chart our own futures. But for now, he is unsure of what the future holds, and if the light will ever flow through the world again. And then we switch back to John Doe. When the bombs blow off their shells and the world looks bleaker than before, I'll be holding on to what I love. When the life inside me slowly fades, I know that I can live again. Truth of love I found in the darkness. She's more than a miracle. She's the dawning of the world. She'll be with me as we tread through fire. Look for us when we arrive. She sees the spark inside my eyes. We'll scream when everyone is silent. Given up all my faith, and the love we had is failing. I'll be there holding on to her when we've given away all our hope. Then we switch to the new character, the light. I love you more than all in the world. I hold you closer than life. I don't want this to ever end, falling backwards into dreams. Come away with me. Fall with me into dreams. And we got a cat on my book. I hold you closer than the dawning of the sun, promising myself to you like it's passing. Each day that passes, we are drowned out by love that sticks to us closer than our skin. If there's one thing you should know, I know the pain befalls me like a bitter storm. I know I'm coarse. I know I'm bitter. I know the years have not been kind to me. After all my hopeless daydreaming, I was dazzled at how hard I hit the ground. Tell me what we've always been feeling deeper in my soul. The world is tumbling backwards. Hold me like the angel that you are. After so long struggling to stand up, the worst pain comes from the war within my heart. Then we switch back to John Doe. The light has such a gentle face, and I am subject to the winds that pass away with time. My first love she wakes me up to see, how beautiful the stars are in the middle of the night. Lord, don't take my first love from me. This passing breeze envelopes me, like the kindness of her arms. I'm sick of this silence, I choke on it. No more apathy, all that's left is change. I am a ghost, I fade away with the breeze. Unnoticed in these hallways, like the joy that is now gone. There is a part of me that wants to get away, from drowning in these hallways, to feel the freedom in the spring. Love is not here today. What I once believed is now unrecognizable. I dream for all that's lovelier. And that's the first poem in this book. It's called Overture. It's a good one.